what can you tell the team why you're so excited about CSG? Not that it's part of the Integrity family that we're all now a part of, but can you? I mean, you're the tech guy on the team. I mean, you forgot more things than I'll ever learn about technology. Can you share why the partnership with CSG is so valuable for our team members?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm going to try to do this without stealing too much of our guest fire here, but I'm going to introduce her in the flow of things. The key thing here we've talked about over the last week or so is getting back to business as usual. And one of the big things that we are looking forward as a part of 2022 is the opportunity to offer additional carriers in different markets and to cross-sell. Well, a lot of times, if it's not in front of you, you miss opportunities because the light or the button's not right there in front of you. So what CSG Actuarial does is they aggregate data and they put it, they present it to us. They give us quoting tools and systems that allow us to be able to have a line of sight into the opportunities that are in front of us. That relates to not only Medicare, but final expense and hospital indemnity, dental, market analysis. There's all kinds of data that's made available. So, as we talk, with our clients, the opportunity not only to just help them on the Medicare side, but every single customer we talk to, whether they're in a supplement or a Medicare Advantage plan, if that first tier sales opportunity, they're satisfied with what they have, there are other ways to identify opportunities to help them, hospital indemnity and so forth. There's other things we can do for customers. The tools that our guest, Ms. Anna Patrick, is going to go over are going to allow you to have that line of sight immediately. So I'd like to introduce our guest speaker today from CSG Actuarial, Ms. Anna Patrick. Anna has been gracious enough to lend us her time and really go over some tools that we have available to us that we've had available for some time, but there's actually some recent tweaks that were made available on our system. She's the business development manager for CSG, and today she's going to go over the quoting engine specifically as it relates to Medicare Advantage. And then on Wednesday, we're going to go over a couple of brand new modules that are available on our website for in terms of market data. So I hope I tried to do a dance there and tiptoe around the subject there, Anna. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you perfectly.
All right, perfect. I'm so excited to be on here, and thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited for all of your agents to get access to our systems, kind of full access. So it was kind of mentioned in the very beginning of this call, just how fast things are moving already for you guys as being part of Integrity. And we came on pretty quickly with you guys, and we were able to upgrade all of your guys' quoting system to offer everything that we offer here at CSG. So I'm just on here today. I'm going to share my screen here as long as that's okay, it looks like. When you sign into the Global Premier Benefits quoting tool, you'll see a lot more additional quoting tools here on this platform. So that's been very exciting for us to add all these new features. We also adjusted the way that you guys all log in as well in order for you to have this full access. So John, I'm not sure if you have sent out everybody's login information, but you will all now have a username and password to sign into this quoting tool. John, did everyone get that?
And the food is good.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Not as of yet, no.
Okay, so you guys will all be getting that information to go ahead and log into this quoting tool. So you'll see several new tools available for you here today. What I'm just going to briefly touch upon is our new Medicare Advantage and our Fill the Gaps tool. So with this new access, we are now allowing you to be able to enter in and save an individual's prescription drugs and preferred pharmacies. That has been a very popular request for a lot of agents, just to be able to save them and not have to re-enter them in every single year or every single time you run a quote. So we have in this system, it's called our Client Manager. You're able to import your clients into Client Manager. So when you run a quote here, all your clients will appear in your drop-down menu. If you haven't imported your clients in here and you want to just go ahead and start by creating a client, all you have to do here is type in a client's name and you can create a new client. So now it created this client for me. I can then enter in their zip code, what plan I'm looking for, whether that's Medicare Advantage, Part D, or a special needs plan. You have some great options to sort by, whether that's monthly premium, company name, alphabetical order, annual drug and premium costs. So you have some new options to sort by as well. If they qualify for a low income subsidy, you can select that as well. And then here's where you can go ahead and enter in prescription drugs. So if you wanted to bypass that, you can just select no and hit get quote. Otherwise, you can select yes. We can select the fill method, whether that's retail, mail order, or both. And then here's where you would just start by adding in a client's prescription drugs. So I'm just going to do a drug for an example. I can start typing that drug name in and I can select that option. When I have this checked marked, allow generic drugs, this is just showing me all of my dosage amounts. These are all going to be generic. If I uncheck mark this, all of my dosage amounts will have that brand name there in parentheses. So that's how I know that it's a brand versus generic. That's selected, and then I can select the drug, the packaging, the quantity, the frequency. I can keep this open to add multiple drugs. So I can add that drug. It shows here in the background, and then I can go and I can search for my next drug. And then pharmacies, it automatically will bring in that zip code in the upper right-hand corner of where you ran that quote. You can select the pharmacies over here on the left. Otherwise, you can start by typing in a pharmacy name and it will populate those different locations here for you. So you can add multiple pharmacies to here as well, just to see the breakdown of all the costs. Once those have been added, you can hit get quote. And then this view is a little bit differently here, but we are going to show you how many of the drugs are covered, how many of the pharmacies are covered as well, what type of plan this MA plan is, if it's health and drug coverage or just health coverage. So you can see here a full comparison of all these different plans. In order to get into a particular plan, we have a couple of different options. If we click on show plan highlights, this is just going to give me a brief overview about the plan, but it's also going to break out these awesome analytics here. So this can tell me for the zip code that I ran, which county it is in, how many people are Medicare eligible, how many people are enrolled in an MA plan that are Medicare eligible. So in this particular county, about 40% of Medicare eligibles are enrolled in an MA plan. It's very important for you to know that the breakout of the location as well. And then we can see here by parent company, how many people are enrolled in an Aetna Medicare plan, and then how many are actually enrolled within this Aetna Medicare Prime HMO plan. So it breaks down all of these great analytics here for you that can really help you determine if a plan is going to be a good fit for an individual. They may ask the popularity of a particular plan. This can really help you to understand the demographic area as well. If I click on view plan details in the upper right-hand corner, I also have an overview of that plan. Here's where all of my benefits and costs are going to be. And then the RX drug coverage and costs. So based upon the drugs that you entered in here, it's going to break out whether that's a brand or generic, what tier it belongs to. So if it's covered or not. And then it's going to break out the cost of that particular drug at each pharmacy location that you entered, and then what it would be for a mail order if you selected that. Then it will break out the estimated drug cost per month. So the monthly cost, the cumulative cost, and then where you would be at in your coverage phase over on the right-hand side. So lots of great information here. Again, being able to enter in those prescription drugs, see the cost of those drugs, and then it saves it. So the next time I would go run a quote for John, all of his drugs in his pharmacies would automatically populate for me. Now, an awesome feature of this, and you're going to hear about cross-selling a lot with an MA plan, is we have a tool called Fill the Gaps. It allows you to pull up your client's Medicare Advantage plan next to a hospital indemnity plan, and you can see how that hospital indemnity plan can help fill your coverage, your client's coverage gaps. So in your benefits and costs, we'll always make sure that we're reviewing this inpatient and know how many days they need. So this is 1 through 5, so they're paying $390 per day. I'm going to help fill those coverage gaps for them. I'm going to go in the upper right-hand corner here, click Fill the Gaps. It's going to bring in that client zip code, age, gender, tobacco status. I can hit Search Quotes. This is going to pull up all the available hospital indemnity plans. We're first going to break it out by price so you can see what the cost is, and that's for the cost for the base benefit amount. Most of them start at $100 a day. So we'll go in and we will adjust this for the client, but I can come in here and I can select maybe a 5-day option. I can even look at possibly expanding it to maybe a 6-day option or a 10-day option, and then being able to kind of see how that compares with the different options that I have here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Add to Comparison. So now I'm looking at GTL. I'm looking at a 5-day benefit and a 6-day benefit. So you can look at here, you can see, okay, here are my highlighted benefits. These are all benefits that could help with this hospital indemnity plan. So I know for days 1 through 5, they would have to pay $390. I can start adjusting this accordingly. So I may want to see what would it cost, maybe go a little bit lower here just because it is a 6-day benefit. So I'll get some more money on day 6. So maybe I can lower this a little bit. But if I did a 5-day benefit at $390, what that would cost. So actually be better for them to do cost-wise if they wanted to do this 5-day benefit. Otherwise, you could even lower this down a little bit more just to kind of play around with the different costs. But you can add multiple plans to this side-by-side comparison just to see which daily benefit amount and how many days would be the most beneficial. If they wanted an outpatient hospital rider, you can select that. Now, I love how you can see in here the cost for everything too. So if I add these different riders, what that does to my monthly premium amount as well. So that's super helpful. Keep in mind, I have the Medicare Advantage. I have an Advantage Plus and an Advantage Plus Elite. So these are kind of 2 different plan structures. And you can see there's different benefits for these 2 different plans, although they're both with GTL. So skilled nursing, they may not need that since they don't have anything for days 1 through 20. Ambulance, definitely want to give them an ambulance rider. So it does all of the math here for you. So at the top, it's adding in all of these different riders to that monthly premium there at the top. So this is how you would do that Fill the Gaps tool to really show the client that here are your benefits of your MA plan, and here are some of your co-pays that you'd be responsible for. And then this is how that hospital indemnity plan can help fill these particular coverage gaps. So this is a new tool, new feature, all part of the Integrity Access. I'm going to be talking with you guys more this week and do some additional trainings on all of the other great resources that you have available. But this is just kind of a sneak peek at one of the options that you have through CSG now. John, anything else you want me to kind of touch upon here?
Well, could you show the side-by-side comparison? From the first page is the quoting where you can show 2 plans side by side?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go back to my quote results here. So let's say you are trying to determine which plan option may be the best fit for your client. We have a comparison feature. So over here on the right-hand side, as you hover over that check mark, it says compare quote. So you can compare up to 5 different plans at one time. So if I wanted to take maybe these 3 plans here, I can then see they're in my compare quotes. So I can click on compare quotes. Now I can see these 3 plans side by side. So I have a Humana and a WellCare plan here. I can break out the benefits and the cost for these particular plans. So you can see here, this is a nice side-by-side comparison of all of the benefits. You can do the same with the RX drug coverage and costs, what the different costs for the different tiers are, and then the cost for the different plans based upon which plan you're going with here. So you can see there is a difference in costs if I was going with the Humana, the Aetna, or the WellCare plan. You can see just a few dollars off, but this allows you to do all of those different comparisons with the side by side. And you can print this off, you can save this as a PDF. Even if you were comparing these 3 plans, for example, you could still come on here to your fill the gaps, and then you can add your hospital indemnity plan to this as well. So you can do so many different comparisons here with a couple of different Medicare Advantage, with a couple of different hospital indemnity plans. Again, you can do as many, up to 5 on here for your comparisons. Does that help you there?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome, great.
Any questions? I know there was a couple of questions that were chatted. So as far as, what was the question? So the client manager, there was a question around CMS compliance and saving prescription medication. Any, I guess, insight you can share in that regard?
Yep. So this is why we created everybody with their own account. So you guys all have a username and a password now to sign in to get access to this. So this is all protected with your username and your password. No one can get into your account to see any of your clients' information. So it's all protected. We have gone through all of our compliance reviews, and it is all HIPAA compliant there for you to be able to store these into here. So only you have access to your account.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. Let's see if there's any questions here. So, well, I'll tell you what, I'll let them ask questions of you first, and then I will walk them through how they can get logged in and so forth. Any more questions for Anna?
I do.
Yes.
I got a question. Can we, once we do the quoting comparison, are we able to email that to a client? Because we do a lot on the phone now, so.
Yeah, so it does do, you were able to do that PDF. So what you would have to do is you would have to export it to a PDF first, and then use your email system to then send that over. So let's say, going to my client John here, you can see how those prescription drugs and pharmacy saved. Hit get quote. If you go into your comparison in the upper right hand corner here, or if you're doing that side by side, you have this print and save as a PDF. So when this populates here, you can then go ahead and save it as a PDF, and then save it to your computer, and then you would just email from your system.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
Quick question. Can we also enroll from this quoting tool?
Not yet. That is a feature that we are working on for the Medicare Advantage. We do have it available on the Medicare Supplement and Dental for a couple of carriers. We just don't have it available on the Medicare Advantage yet, but that is something in the near future that will be available to you.
Good morning. This is Wesley Norris.
Hi, Wesley.
You know, I've been using CSG for, oh my goodness, forever now. And it has always been an amazing tool. But this is from where it started, on steroids. This is awesome. I'm going to really love this.
Yes, I think so. And as we do some more trainings, you're going to see just all of the full capabilities. I think on Wednesday, we're going to go through some of the newer features. But yeah, when you sign in, you'll see so many new options here. You can even complete your electronic scopes on here and then save those all to your document locker. So it's a full-fledged coding platform for you.
On that electronic scope, you hang on to that for the 10 years?
Yes. Yep. So everything will save into your document locker. We will store it all. We have an option for you to export as well. So you can export your entire document locker. It downloads as a zip file. So if for whatever reason you, retire or get out of the business, you can always export all your documents, but we will keep them for 10 years.
That's awesome. And how soon do we have access to this?
You have access to it now. We did change your guys' login information. So you will be signing in. So I'll just kind of show you what that process looks like. We gave everybody a temporary password to go ahead and log in with. So you'll all log in with your email address and then the temporary password that we provided. If for whatever reason you previously had access to CSG prior to us adding your email to it now, that temporary password would not work. It would be your previous password into CSG. So if anyone has any issues getting into their account with that temporary password, we can always reset the password if you don't remember the previous password that you used.
And do we contact you for that password change, or John, or how?
Yeah, you can contact me. That's fine.
Okay, thanks.
Good morning. I have a question.
Yes.
I see a tab that says Client Manager and then E-Application. So my first question is, on a Client Manager, will that load all of our clients from all the different carriers that we have in our system?
So you would have to manually add your clients into Client Manager. So there's a couple of different ways in which you can get your clients into here. You can import your clients using an Excel file, or you can manually add a new client to here. So that's how you can get your clients into here. So you do have to get them into the system first. Once you import your clients, they'll store down here below. And then within each particular client profile, you can store, again, some basic information about them, and then you can import all of their current products into here. So you could type in what Med Sup plan that they're on, or what Medicare Advantage plan that they're on, any of the ancillaries that we quote. You can store their in-force products within their profile.
Wow. And then the E-Application, is that for anyone we want to do E-Application with any carrier, or just one particular carrier?
So we have our e-applications available on the Med Sup and the dental as of right now. We only have a handful of different carriers on that platform. So any carriers that we do have on that platform, you'll see an apply now button for, and that's how you know that it's available to do an app for. So I'll just quickly show you that here. So any of these carriers here, so like Aetna, United Healthcare, Mutual of Omaha, we have these carriers on that EApp platform. So you can apply straight from the quoting tool on our system. It's going to be the same application process across all companies on here. So the look and feel is going to be the exact same. We're not redirecting you to the carrier's website. You are completing that application on our system. When you hit apply now, it is going to ask you to validate that you are contracted with that carrier. So you will either have to enter in your national producer number or your writing number.
And can we do that with any final expense product that we have on file right now?
We don't have final expense on here as of today. We just have Medicare supplement and dental.
Okay.
I'm presuming we still need to read through the summary of benefits on this side to be a compliant enrollment. Would that be correct, John G?
Yes. The requirements as far as content that we're covering doesn't change. And just as a reminder, just so everyone's on the same page, the Medicare Advantage enrollments have not been rolled out, like the e-enrollment have not been rolled out on this platform. So as of this moment, we would still do our enrollments the same way. This is just giving us a different way to quote.
Excellent. The other piece on this quoting tool, does it show any buy down information? For example, you mentioned the Aetna plan. Aetna has a buy down in certain markets. Does it show that at all or not?
I'm not familiar with what a buy down is. So I don't believe so.
So an Aetna plan, for example, and I'm talking about a Georgia market, has $65 rebated back to the customer.
Okay.
So in a snapshot like this, I can then justify the spending of $60 for added benefits because they're going to get $65 back in their premiums. And that makes it real easy because it's a wash for the customer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm not sure, and
I
Anna,
don't-
you would know better than I would, but I'm not sure from what I've seen. It looks like it compares core plan structures against
Mhm.
one another. So there's going to be some unique benefits like gift cards and health cards and stuff like that that are not a part of the core plans. So they're not an apple to apple comparison from one company to the next. So categorically, I'm not sure that is going to apply, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't believe we have which ones are buy down plans
John?
in here or not.
Uh-huh.
This is Wesley.
Yes.
I'm at the site. I put in my zip code and it does show the buy downs. It's showing the Humana Honor Plan, Part B reduction, $50. So I thought it did, but I pulled it up just to make sure. It does show the buy down.
Okay, perfect.
That's
Okay.
why this is such an
Oh,
awesome
like
program.
this welfare give back.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
There you go. Part B reduction.
Perfect.
Hey, John, this is
Yes.
Russ. Is there any way in this system to show which of the clients, which of these plans the client's PCP is on?
I don't believe I think drugs are the only, I guess, client unique input, drugs and pharmacies. Is that correct, Anna?
You would have to manually enter in their prescription drugs and preferred pharmacies for the first time.
Right. I think what Russ is getting at is, you're going to have with Medicare Advantage, you're going to have participation requirements for physicians. And I guess he's asking if there's an input where you can put in a physician and it filter down and say, these are the carriers that.
Yeah, so being able to add in the physicians is going to be a future update to this system. We should have it available by the next AEP, but that is something that we're adding into here.
That would complete it. That would make it really dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for Anna. This is Eddie. On the scope of appointment, if we did a scope of appointment through the system, would that need to be carrier specific, or would that scope of appointment apply to any and all carriers?
So this is a generic scope of appointment that you are capturing on our system. So then you can download it and upload it to a carrier if need be. But they are generic scopes. Yes.
Yeah, you can rent that for family picnics. And there's bathrooms in there.
Okay. Well, Anna, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me, and we will continue talking and training on all these additional tools available.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
So
guys,
John, I do have a question too before you guys wrap up. So Wednesday, if you can tell the team, what's Wednesday going to look like in regards to CSG?
So Wednesday, I'll let you take it, Anna, if you're prepared.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So Wednesday, we're going to talk about Market Edge and Market Pulse. Market Pulse is a carrier document library. So any carrier documents that we can publicly source, we'll put into Market Pulse. And then Market Edge is such a phenomenal tool. This tool will help break down for you by state and by zip code how many people are over age 65, turning age 65, and then how many are enrolled in a Medicare Medicare supplement versus a Medicare Advantage. So it's going to help you do a full breakdown of your coverage area to let you better understand your market and where your opportunities are at. We don't give you contact information for those individuals, but we can at least tell you by zip code how many people in that zip code are over age 65, turning age 65 this month, are on a MedSup versus a Medicare Advantage. So it's a great tool to help you better understand the Medicare demographics in your area. And it also allows you to do what we call carrier heat mapping. So you can see how competitive a carrier is nationwide by just creating a simple carrier heat map. So that's what I'm going to be training on Wednesday.
And that's going to be at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys. So make sure you guys note that, 9 Eastern, Wednesday. Great. Anything else, John? Anything else, Anna?
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Anna. So before we segue into the rest of the presentation, I just want to share with everyone how you would get access to this information. Now that we brought that up. So first thing is, let me share my screen. You're going to want to go to the globalpremierbenefits.com website. You will need to be logged in. So if it does not say log out, if it says log in, that means you have to log into the global site first. You'll go to the associate tab and you'll go to quote tool. Now, the link here has not been updated yet so that you will have a unique login. That's coming, okay? But you will have access to what we're training on this week, Medicare Advantage, the Market Pulse, and Market Edge. Once we update the link so that you have your own login page, that's when you'll see the scope of appointment and the client manager and so forth on there. At present, you don't have to log in. At present, if you log into the Global Premier Benefits website and you go to the quoting tool, then you'll have access to all the quoting engines. But because it's not unique to you, that's why you don't see the client manager, scope of appointment, so forth. To have access to that, back to the point of the question of around compliance, each individual has to have their own login to have access to those storage receptacles because they're all isolated and individualized for each person. So that update is coming very shortly. And then once that's done, the login is very simple. The email address that we have on file for you would be your username. And then everyone, the initial login will be agent@1. So the capital A, an agent @1 will be the default password for everyone. So your username will be your email address and an agent1. The email address we have on file for you. I know some of you have multiple email addresses. So if you're using a different one, there could be an issue. Also, and address this, some of you may have already been using this platform through another carrier or relationship, and you would have already created your own password. So you just use the same password you already had. If you need to have the password reset, then you can email Anna at apatrick@csgactuarial.com. I know that's a mouthful, but I think Mike put her contact information on screen, so you'll have access to that there as well. Okay. All right.
John, did you say capital A for agent and then the @sign? And then number 1?
Correct.
Okay.
John, can you chat that, please?
Well, I'll be sitting it because they don't have access to it yet anyhow.
Okay.
So once it's available, we'll send a communication out with that information.
Wonderful.
All right. Back to you guys.
So any other questions for John real quick?
Yeah, good morning, John and Tony. I guess my first question, John, and I had chatted it, but I guess I don't know. Are you able from their site to go? I know you're not able to do the application process at this point, but what about, will any of those go straight to the actual company site?
No. So the same processes that we've used in the past, you're using bookmarks or whatever the case may be, or if you're using the tutorial enrollment page that we put on the global site, none of that changes as of now. Okay. Now, in the future, there's some things that will be deployed, which will give us a single platform to do enrollments, but we're not there yet. So the only thing that's different at this point is you have a new quoting tool at your disposal.
And so correct me if I'm wrong, because, you know, we have the one that we had before. It looks like this one kind of just takes us a couple more levels of, you know, being able to do maybe some more like throw in the GTL and stuff like that. Is that correct? Because we already had the global quoting tool.
Yes and no. So actually on our version of the quoting engine, the original version we have, like, let me share my screen. So like right now, if you log into Global's website, both versions of the Medicare Advantage quoting tool are currently present. So this is what we've been using up to this point. And even this version has the hospital indemnity engine on it. What it doesn't have is the medication lookup and the pharmacy lookup. Those are new features that have been added. So this tool gives you everything we had here, plus a couple of additional ones. So ultimately, I'm not even sure why we would even want this one here anymore. We'll most likely just have the new version because you're not losing anything by moving to the new version.
And then, of course, as that they increase things that would be added to that. So in the long run, this, you know, will definitely be enhanced.
Correct. But I can't emphasize enough, guys, the significance here. You know, when we talk about cross-selling, you know, invariably when you're making your outreach to customers, they're going to fall into one of three pockets. They're either going to be, hey, I'm interested in what you have to offer from a Medicare, you know, Advantage or Medicare supplement standpoint, and you're moving towards a sale, or you can't get a hold of them, or finally they're in a plan and they're happy with it. Well, this tool gives you an opportunity to very simply and easily pivot to, hey, you know what? You have a great plan. You're happy with it. I'm happy for you. That whatever company you're with, that's a great company, whatever the case may be. However, every plan has opportunities to be better. Let me go over what we can do to make improvements so that what you already have and happy with, you don't change that, but let's enhance it. And then this will actually show side by side. Here's the gaps. Here's where the hospital indemnity plan can fill those gaps. This is how much it's going to cost. It gives you one place to quote all of that specifically line by line, side by side, so that you can structure a plan to fill the gaps in that customer's coverage. If you're not doing that with every customer you talk to, you're doing them and yourselves a disservice. Okay.
And another quick question, I'm so sorry. And I know we were focusing on Medicare Advantage and we were going through it so quickly. Does that also pertain to life insurance where you could, you know, do life insurance from that same tool where it's going to give us a bunch of different companies? We say, you know, $10,000 life insurance and it gives us the different companies, or does that do that yet?
I'm talking on mute. Remember, this is specifically Medicare Advantage. Now, if you're talking final expense, there's a separate quoting engine for that. You're talking dental, there's a separate quoting engine. If you're talking supplements, there's a separate quoting engine for that. But what we went over today was specifically on Medicare Advantage.
Right, but we also touched base in hospital. So I didn't know, you know, is that going to be like a one shop stop? You know, okay, well, here's hospital. Okay. And then for that same person, it'll show where you can do some life insurance options. I didn't know if that was going to have that capability.
No, that's what this is. If you want to talk to someone about final expense, you go to the final expense quoting engine.
Okay. Thank you.